Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday and it's the day before Mother's Day, and that means it's May 7th. And I'm back here in the work area and greenhouse. So I want to give you a little update on what happened yesterday afternoon, as well as what I'm up to today. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of go out in the greenhouse area and explain a little bit about the plants that I'm planting this morning, and then we'll walk over to where I'm planting them, which is the central garden. I'd like to show you what I did yesterday, which was planting the broccoli, and we're going to use the same procedure today to plant two different type of kale. I'll explain a little bit about how we have the weed mats and the hose down the center, and what's the easiest way we found to go ahead and do this. So what I'm going to do is just turn the camera around a little bit and walk out to where the kale is. Here we go. So we're out in the open greenhouse where we have all our little pots and all. By the way, the tomatoes that I talked about the other day are really doing well, hardening off outside. Seem to be quite happy, thank God. So the kale project, we have two different types of kale right down here. This is a Russian kale. It's kind of got that red tinge. I'm panning over. That's what I'm going to show you over here is the red one. And we have two trays of that, as well as we have two trays of this. And this is Premier Kale. I think that's kind of like the curly kale. I'm not 100% sure which one, what it looks like that Kevin started here. But we love kale, and then we freeze it, and then we put it in all the stews and everything for the whole year until we grow more next time. So, of course, I have Timmy helping me, crawling up with his claws on my leg. Don't distract me, handsome. But I'd like to show you over here. All right, some behind me. There we go. These trays, they of course have a lot of kale, and they're tiny, tiny little squares, and it's hard to get them out. So someone invented this little apparatus here, which is fantastic, where these little plugs go ahead and line up perfectly with the holes in the bottom of the tray. So all you do is get Timmy off of helping us. There you go, handsome. And you pick this tray up, you place it over and onto the holes, and you gently press it down, and the little plugs will come out so that you can easily get them. And then we go ahead and put them in a flat tray. You're squishing the kale, handsome. In a flat tray. I carry them over to where I'm planting them, and that makes it a quick job. So that'll be the project. Oh, I love this tool also. It's really nice. It's good for putting bulbs in too, but I like that it has ruler measurements. So they have 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. This is up to 6 inches here. So if you're planting something either like 4 inches deep, like a bulb, or you're putting well, I put yesterday the broccoli really close, and what we're going to do is thin it out as it grows. Usually it's supposed to be at least 18 inches, but I put it 6 inches yesterday. So I use this as my measure. So I lay it down, make a mark, go to the next, and it just expedites things moving fast. So that is what we're doing. So let's see. I will walk over, probably with Timmy, and show you how we end up putting them in the rows with the mats. We also have drip tape there, which is great, and Kevin has it on a timer. That still has to be set up. So yesterday, once I put the broccoli in, I just connected a hose with one of those long wands, sprinkler parts, and just went down the rows and watered the broccoli really good after putting it in the ground. They were wet before I put them in the ground, because when I placed them in those trays and carried them over here, I did douse them with a good amount of water. So that gave them a little bit of a head start also. So what we're doing is walking over to the central garden. Here we go. And sneaking through this little open gate area here. Here we go. So this is all the broccoli all the way down here that I put in yesterday. And these black mats are great. And I'm just going to show you how we end up placing them. Because in the middle, where the two mats come together, is where the drip tape is. Let's see if I can sneak over here. Let's see. Yes. So here is the end of a drip tape that goes all the way down. And then we put these little pins, I guess I'll call them, to hold it down. And we use the same pins, as you can see alongside, to hold the mats down on either side. And that is fantastic because this way we're not weeding and weeding and weeding. The mats are suppressing the weeds, and we just have our plants sticking up in the middle. Yes, we do have to periodically in the middle pull a couple of weeds, but once they grow taller, they shade out most of the unwanted plants that come there. So prepping this is what I'm going to have to do a little bit for the kale. I'm going to put one type of kale down this row. This one is going to be the Russian kale, and the row next to it over here is going to be the premier kale. So what we do is, you can see the line, the drip line. I straighten that out just by reaching down and pulling it straight, and I put the pins in, but you have to be careful of where you're putting the pins based on your mats. So first what I would do, let's see if I can reach down here and give you an idea, is I would pull, for example, this mat up, and I see that, oh, it only goes this far. So I can't have the line way out over here. It has to be close to it. And that gives me the guideline. So I put the mat on this case, our right one, tack that all down, tack the drip line down, and then it is time to fit the other mat over. So then I pull this one all the way up towards Timmy across, and you can see where it would go ahead and match up, and then those would give me my sections in the middle to put the plants in. And then very little weeding is needed for the season. Thank God. It really makes it easier. So I guess what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and get those baby kale out of their little trays, and using that little wooden pusher outer thing, and then walk over here with them, and I'll have a time lapse on, and then we can go ahead and you can see how we do it. All right, you guys have a great day. I'll tie in with you later. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, it's still Saturday, May 7th, 2022, the day before Mother's Day. Woohoo! And I just wanted to let you know that we got done the goal of planting the kale today. A little windy now, and the temperature seems to be dropping some, and we got some clouds, which is actually good with the clouds because that way the sun isn't beating down on the new baby plants put in the ground that they've been stressed today. So all is well. I'm going to pan over and show you the rows. They look a little sad, but they'll be coming around, I'm sure, by tomorrow. I did water them with the hose. I moistened them before, the little plugs in them, before we even put them in the ground. And then once they were in the ground, then I went along with the hose and really doused them. And the mat situation worked great. The drip tape will get going soon, so we don't have to spend so much time watering. And I'll flip the camera around. All right. So again, the other day we planted the broccoli, so that's right over there. And then today the mission was the kale, the Russian kale, and that's the one here in the second bed. And then in the third bed, and of course we're in the central garden, is the kale, and it's called Premier Kale. So first I started putting things really close together with the idea of, well, we can just go ahead and you know, as they get bigger, the ones that live, great. The others we'd have to replant them, and we can just kind of make the space and eat the ones in between. But then we were kind of talking and decided that, well, maybe we'll follow the rules and go 2 feet apart. So you'll see that the broccoli really close together. Part of the Russian kale's close together, like 6 inches close together. And then we went 2 feet. So we'll see how that all works out. We do have leftover to fill in spaces if some of them die and we need to put more in. The other thing I forgot to tell you is over here, this brown stuff is the ground cover that Kevin had on all winter. And the really nice thing about that is it suppresses the weeds, and then what happens is it breaks down and it adds nutrients back to the soil. So it's really nice. So we, of course, pull the mats. You can tell they're pulled aside, and then the crop cover grew well. And then Kevin will go ahead and mulch that in, and then we'll put the mats back on to plant the rest of the things, which is going to be like onions. We have lots of red onions. We have some peppers. So we have banana peppers, as well as jalapeno peppers, which Kevin loves. I don't really like the hot stuff, but he likes it, so we grow it. And then also potatoes. I'm not sure if he'll put blue potatoes in here or russet potatoes, because the sweet potatoes are where he's been working over more on the east side. Actually, you might be able to see him way there in the distance. He's working on that. So we planted bed 1, 2, and 3, and now we have bed 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 to put things in. So hopefully we'll have a good amount of space and all. So just wanted to give you the update about the ground cover, about getting the kale and broccoli in, and then telling you about the silly spacing thing we did. Okay, take care, enjoy your day. Nice talking to you guys. Bye-bye.